What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. I am bringing you another top carries of the week. Going to go through the top carried pocket knives I carried this past week and why I'm carrying them or what I am enjoying about them. Let me go ahead and kick this off with the Micarta Monday carry, and that is going to be the Ace Grand by Giant Mouse Knives. This one is the River's Edge Cutlery exclusive with the 4E steel, black washed, really nice black wash on there. It has the smooth burlap micarta, which is very nice looking, feels very good in hand too because it doesn't have any of that rough texturing. So very smooth and feels, like I said, really good in hand. I am enjoying the wire pocket clip, and you can actually start to see how the burlap has begun to patina as I've carried it and handled it. You can see it's kind of dry underneath the pocket clip because my hand never really makes any contact with that burlap. So plenty of use, feels good in hand, and it looks really good too. The patina's coming out nice. Really good access to that thumb hole now that I dremeled out that little tiny section right there. You can see I just knocked it down ever so slightly so I can come in from the side and just kind of let it drop over top of the ramp and let that close. So far, the edge is holding up really nicely. I have no issues whatsoever. I love that they put this jimping out here because if I am doing any type of controlled work out on the edge, I have no issues whatsoever with that. And again, the usage is just going to wear down that coating even more. So it's going to really just fit in nicely with that black wash. I think I have a little bit of residue left out here. I tried to clean these up before the video, but it is kind of hard. Sometimes I forget and just put them away. And then, on the weekends when I'm messing with things, doing edits, whatnot, that's when I do the majority of my cleaning. I do strop them up after I'm done. That usually just constitutes sitting down in front of the TV next to the missus and stropping up at the end of the day if I need to, depending on how much I actually use the knife, because there are some days that it may go by where I may not get an opportunity to use it for anything other than to carry it and to have it on me. But that is the Giant Mouse Ace Grand. Even if you're getting the L Max version, which I think comes on their base model or their everyday offer that you'll find at any retailer, they have wonderful micarta, and I love the stock thickness and the edge on here because it's such a tall flat grind. This is really a nice full-size EDC. Really enjoying that one a lot. In the pocket as the companion carry with that knife is actually going to be my Best Man 2. So I had the Italians on Monday for Micarta Monday. The Best Man 2 here by Lion Steel has the micarta on it. You can see plenty of patina happening on this particular variant. I like to use this for a little bit of food prep to go through my apples, whatnot. Really nice for that. So great carry. Nice walk and talk. Love this one. Such a great companion knife. The M390 heat treat on a slip joint, to me, I think they do it around 58 to 60, which is a little low for M390, and it is a little bit of a softer steel, but I don't use this for any kind of heavy duty hard use. Like I said, this is going to be very light opening packages, and it's going to do a lot of the food prep, and the edge on there has lasted a long time because it is M390, which is a lot for a slip joint, and it really doesn't need too high of a heat treat in my opinion, unless you live somewhere where you can't have a locking knife and you have certain size restriction and this has to be your main knife and you have to use this for some heavier tasks, then that could be a potential issue. But I do understand Lion Steel is looking at their heat treats, and hopefully by the time this comes out or by the time we're talking about it, they've already addressed the heat treat issues and have bumped that up to at least 62. I think 62 is a nice sweet spot for M390, but I do love that slip joint. It's very well made, looks good, and it does everything that I ask of it, and I've not had to sharpen that at all, regardless of the food prep or any type of light duty task that I'm doing with it. On Tuesday, I had a knife come in Monday night, and I decided to bump it into the rotation because I want to get my opinion formed so I can get a video out, because this is a hot release and it's going to be fairly popular, I believe, in the community. So on Tuesday, I had my Wii Vision R. This one here is a SNCC design, and it is a food prep oriented knife. It has a nice sheep's foot blade to it. You can see it curves up. It has really good clearance. So if you have your hand down and you're doing prep on the here, I'll bring something over because you can't see what I'm doing down there. If you're doing food prep on a flat surface and you have your hand there, you have a lot of the cutting surface, even with my larger hand, that's still going to make contact and get all the way through whatever it is that you're cutting. I didn't realize this was a food prep knife until I actually saw over on Knife Center where they did the feature of this, that it was going to be released. One of the things that they talked about was that the speed holes and the hole here to see the back of the blade is so that you have good access to be able to clean it. The other feature here is that this lock mechanism comes up so that you can clean it off. You can see I've fidgeted with it a ton. I didn't realize that the pocket clip is dual function. There is a pivot here that the lock spring rests against for it to slide against, but it also keeps that tension down to help it keep from sliding out. So when you're actually actuating the lock, it actually helps push some pressure down. It is a little awkward, and I'm going to save this for the full review. It is a little awkward in the front pocket. It's not awful, but it is not like when you have the tip up and you usually have this kind of sandwiched in. It's on the opposite side, so it does leave the blade exposed, but it's tucked in well enough and it has enough of a heel here to protect it. I've enjoyed this knife. I will get way deep into the review, so make sure you're subscribed for that and make sure that you have your notifications turned on for that so you get the alerts when those videos that you're interested in drops. Apparently I had some paper sitting around here, or it must have been on the blade. I don't even know. Who knows what I was doing? I have not had a chance to clean this knife up since using it, man. But it is really comfortable in hand. I love the tall grind. I think they did a fantastic job. It looks like they maybe did like a black wash, then stone washed it, and then did an anno over it, because the anno coating's on the top, and then you can see between where it's been, you know, black washed and where the stone pelts hit, it has a different type of reflectivity, and I really love that. That is a really nice anno job on that for a factory blade. That is really good. You do have a full forward finger choil here too, so if you do need to control, you know, if you're again like cutting slices of apple or anything and you do need that control, it's going to be really nice. And you can get way up on it as well if you're trying to pull through the cut to do that. Be very careful with this. I know that Wii Civivi usually has really good edges. This thing is thin and extremely slicey. I can't remember what it was. I was doing something at my desk and I pushed through something. Oh, I remember. I was actually making a lanyard for my Thug to. And when I went to kind of just cut the string, I didn't think I was pushing hard enough. So I just kind of pushed through a little bit of the paracord, and I was too close to my mouse mat, and I put like a nice slit down the whole mat. Thankfully, it didn't make it to the desk, but I was really blown away because I wasn't expecting it to go through the paracord so fast. Even with a good edge, usually paracord, you got to give a little bit of an effort, and I hadn't really started to push yet, and it just like sliced through it like a lightsaber. It was crazy. The lock, I will give more information on. I do have a little bit of a gripe about the lock. It is a little uncomfortable if you don't get the right position on it. But again, I'll save that for the full review. I wanted to get that in the pocket so I can get my review out. And I'm definitely about a week in now. Obviously, I had it on Tuesday. I got it Monday night and started fidgeting immediately and cutting with it a little bit. So I'm about a week in. So I'm really close, ready to do a review on that. And it's going to be good overall, but make sure you got that notification turned on for that. Also on Tuesday, while I had that in the pocket, I had my Rockwall tactile knife. Love this little gent's knife. It's a great fifth pocket organizer companion knife. Just a great little knife. Had a few issues. It keeps wanting to back out, but I have been fidgeting with it for the remainder of this week, even though I wasn't carrying it because I wanted to make sure that the Loctite was going to stick this time. And it has remained centered, and it has not developed any more blade play. So I'm hoping it's finally settled in, because as you know, it can take a little bit of time. But it is a nice 4-finger grip for a gent's knife. And again, it is a much smaller carry. And I kind of look at this like I do the Bear and the Best Man 2 over there. It is definitely more of that organizer, 5th pocket carry type knife, but it is a nice gent's knife. You could main this, especially in the summer, because it's so lightweight. If you had on gym shorts and you didn't really want anything heavy to carry, or if you're going somewhere really nice, it's going to be able to be used pretty hard, but serve a nice upscale, kind of classier purpose if you want it to. But it definitely can do your hard duty work. It's very impressive how much they've balanced that knife for the size of it. On Wednesday, just one knife for the office carry on Wednesday, and that is the Wii Roxy 3. If you haven't been watching the channel, I really like this a lot. S35VN. It is a little bit of a thicker stock, and it does have that Warncliffe shape to it, which is a great utility shape. This does get plenty of use. It has really good lock bar access, so I really appreciate that. Very fidgety because it has the thumb hole and the fuller, so you get a lot of ways to fidget with this one if you like to fidget with your knives. It has the front flipper, which works pretty good. This has got more of like the rhino's horn as opposed to the unicorn. It kind of is more pointed forward, so you really just need to make sure you get right into the flush front part of it, because if you come up top, it doesn't have the jimping going around, so you can miss. But if you get right into the rhino horn there, it'll work great, and you can even front finger roll it. So great knife, really well centered. As it's broken in, just gotten really smooth. With that forward finger choil, you get a full 4-finger grip on it. Really nice to use. Doesn't have a whole lot of cutting edge, but it has more than I need for the uses that I put this through, and it performs really well. The S35VN, we had been doing that for a long time before they switched over to the 20CV, which they also do well, but they have really good treat on their S35VN, and I still love S35VN. I think it's such a great, well-rounded steel. But that was the only thing in pocket on Wednesday. Thursday, I did have the Vision back in the pocket, so we're not going to go back over that, but I had that in the organizer in the pocket because I wanted to see, because with no pocket clip, it's really thin, so it actually works really well in a pocket organizer with the flashlight and the pen. And I didn't mention that earlier, but I also had my Grail. I had the Chris Reeves knife Umenzon in the pocket. You guys have seen this on the channel a lot. Awesome ergos, fills the hand really nice. A little bit of a thicker knife, which makes it feel good in hand, especially if you have medium to large size hands. I have larger than large hands, so this does feel really good for me. The spoon here is in a really good spot. I like the scalloping. It feels nice and chamfered. There's no hot spots when you have your thumb in there. I've been using this a lot this week. The only thing about a satin finish, it really doesn't show up. I mean, once you cut it and you take the residue off from any type of tape, comes right off. The S45EN seems to be really well treated by Chris Reeves. Have not even stropped this up, and it still has a really nice factory edge, really sharp. This thing just performs really well. I can't really say much more about it that hasn't already been said. There's a reason this knife sells out as soon as it drops. I mean, I had an alert this week on the website and it dropped, and I checked it like 20 minutes later, and of course sold out. I mean, it was probably sold out within minutes. On Friday, I got another knife in this week, new, that I wanted to review. That's going to be, I think, an exciting knife in the community. It's going to be Kaiser's first crossbar lock. This is the Drop Bear. It has 154 cm satin blade with a really nice drop point. Almost looks like a spear point blade. Nice grind lines on it. I actually like the way that looks a lot. It has the Drop Bear logo on here. I believe that's the model number, and that's an Azo design. Crossbar locks, if you're not familiar with them, I mean, they come on Benchmates, Hogues. You can get them on CMB knives. You can even find them on a ton of budget knives nowadays. So there's crossbar locks. You can throw a rock in any direction and probably come close to, if not hit, a manufacturer that has a crossbar lock. This is exciting though, because it's Kaiser's first crossbar lock that I'm aware of. And it also, in the review, I'll go over that, it has adjustment notches here where you can adjust the spring where it is set into the liner, and it adjusts the amount of tension. So if you don't like it really heavy and you don't want it to have a heavy detent, you kind of want it to be maybe in the middle, you have up to 5 options. Or if you want it to where you can kick it out, I can't really do it just like regular flicking, you can adjust it lighter. And I'll go over that in the full review. But reversible deep carry clip, ergos feel really good. This feels nicer to me than the Kaiser original that really let me down. I was very excited about that. I got a bum first one, and then I got the second one and it had almost the exact same issues. So I really was disappointed in that. This so far, I'm carrying this a little bit less than a week, so hold out for the full review. But this so far is really quite nice. It's a very interesting size. It's kind of a little bit bigger than a Banter, but not quite as big as a Bug Out. So it's kind of an in-between size, which is very interesting. It's not thin like a Bug Out or a Banter, but it does have pretty good thinness, so it is still very friendly for carry, and it's still thick enough to where it actually feels nice and full in hand because it's not quite as tall as a Bug Out. So this is a very interesting knife. I was very excited to get this in for review. It looked like it was going to be a knife to be excited about, and so far it is. So I'm very happy that I picked that up. And then my companion carry, I wanted to go ahead and double up on the crossbar locks today. I have the Able Lock here with the Hogue Doug Ritter Mini RSK MK1. Such a mouthful of a knife. 20 CV, but man, what an awesome little knife. And this one also is a full 4-finger knife for me. It is a little tight up here on the front. I almost land on top of, you see how my finger starts to kind of roll around for me to get that full 4-finger grip. But, and this will be in the video, very close in size. Very, very, very close in size when you look at the two of these. So very interesting. This is the companion carry for Friday. Really interesting knives coming out this week. So funny because I did an EDC walk and talk video, I think it was last weekend, where I talked about you had some manufacturers releasing some very exciting stuff, and then you weren't really seeing too much exciting stuff from others. It was kind of in that lull period. But I see we're starting to turn the corner on summer, getting close to the holidays, and manufacturers, lo and behold, releasing those interesting knives that folks are going to be interested in and want to check out. I mean, the Vision sold out, and I think the Drop Bear sold out as well. I got lucky when Kaiser had the batch that gets devoted to their Amazon store hit. That's where I was able to get it from, because I completely missed it on all the other sites. I was a little late to that. I hadn't seen the video on it, so I was really late to that. But I was still quick enough to get the Amazon drop. So I'm glad I did. I am glad I got it in hand, and I am excited to review that. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, leave a like. If you're enjoying the content, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you follow along if you're interested in that. Check the links down below for links to these knives, to knives that I recommend, websites where you can see where their new releases and coming soon knives are listed, and any discount codes are down there, as well as mats, tools, anything that you might need. Anything that takes you over to Amazon does help. I get a little bit of a kickback. It's really not a lot, but it does help, and you shouldn't be paying any extra. If you're getting anything off White Mountain Knives, my discount should work for most knives there. Of course, there's some brands that do not allow discounts on their products, so just be mindful of that. JD4EDC, really easy discount code for anything that you might pick up on White Mountain Knives. That'll save you 10%. I hope all of you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you tuning in and making it to this far. Again, make sure you left that like for me. It really does help me out. I hope all of you have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace.